Home and Away has confirmed a huge decision for Irene Roberts, as actor Lynn McGranger bows out of the soap. Earlier this year, it was announced that McGranger would be leaving Summer Bay after 33 years in the beloved role. In an emotional exit storyline, Irene was recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's, following a series of concerning memory lapses. What began as minor forgetfulness, such as leaving the iron plugged in, soon escalated into potentially dangerous situations. One incident saw Irene forget that she was looking after baby Archie, as she almost left him in the house alone. According to TV Week, upcoming episodes will see Irene hard at work, following her diagnosis. She busies herself with organizing her affairs while she is still able to. Her tireless efforts are noticed by Leah Patterson Baker and John Palmer, who suggest she take a break. But Irene waves off their concerns, adamant to see things through. While sorting through her possessions, Irene reflects on various happy moments in her life and is determined to keep the memories alive. She shares her treasures with her loved ones as a way for them to remember her. Later, Sonny Baldwin checks in on his friend and catches her daydreaming about exciting travel adventures. Irene quickly brushes off the idea, but Sonny encourages her to listen to her desires. His words resonate with Irene, and the next day, she shares some big news with her loved ones. In a surprising decision, Irene reveals that she's selling her house in order to see the world. Home and Away's Irene Roberts makes a life-changing decision amid Alzheimer's battle, a poignant farewell after 33 years. After more than 3 decades of laughter, resilience, heartbreak, and unwavering strength, Home and Away prepares to say goodbye to one of its most beloved characters. Irene Roberts, portrayed by Lynn McGranger since 1992, is preparing to leave Summer Bay in a storyline that is both heartbreaking and empowering, a tribute to a character who has touched the lives of millions. In an emotional arc crafted with great care, Irene's departure is framed by a devastating yet dignified journey, her diagnosis with Alzheimer's disease. As Irene begins to forget the details that once made up her vibrant, full life, she is also forced to face her mortality. But true to her character, Irene decides to go out on her own terms, making a choice that shocks her closest friends. She's selling her home and heading off to travel the world. A subtle decline. Irene's memory starts to slip. The seeds of Irene's farewell were sown quietly earlier this year, with the soap subtly depicting her initial memory issues. What first appeared to be harmless forgetfulness, misplacing keys or forgetting to turn off the iron, soon escalated into dangerous situations that raised red flags among her friends. In one particularly alarming scene, Irene momentarily forgot she was babysitting baby Archie. Distracted and disoriented, she nearly left the child home alone, an act so uncharacteristic and concerning that those close to her could no longer ignore what was happening. Leah Patterson Baker and John Palmer, 2 of Irene's longest-standing friends, began to notice patterns, repetition in conversations, confusion in familiar routines, emotional outbursts sparked by disorientation. These weren't just signs of aging, something deeper was at play. After much hesitation and fear, Irene agreed to seek medical help. The eventual diagnosis, Alzheimer's, shook her to the core, facing the future head-on. For Irene, the diagnosis wasn't just a death sentence. It was a call to action. Rather than retreat into fear or self-pity, she chose to confront the disease with courage and pragmatism. Determined to remain in control of her life while she still could, Irene began putting her affairs in order. Upcoming episodes, as reported by TV Week, show Irene immersed in tasks, sorting through paperwork, writing letters, organizing legal documents, and making plans for a future she knows she might not fully experience. She insists on staying busy, refusing to let the illness define her. Leah and John, worried about her emotional and physical well-being, urge her to slow down, take care of herself, and allow others to help. But Irene, always fiercely independent, waves off their concerns. For her, every moment of clarity is precious, and she wants to make them count. While packing up her life, Irene comes across mementos of her past, photographs, letters, old keepsakes that trigger a wave of memories. Scenes flash back to her time running the diner, her surrogate motherhood to wayward teens, her fierce battles against addiction and abuse, and the countless moments of love, loss, and laughter that defined her years in Summer Bay. These items become more than memories, they are gifts. Irene begins to hand them out to friends and loved ones, ensuring that even when she's no longer present in mind or body, her spirit will remain with them. A visit from Sonny Baldwin, planting the seed of possibility. As she continues this emotional farewell, Irene is visited by longtime friend Sonny Baldwin. The visit proves pivotal. Noticing her pensive mood and distant expression, Sonny gently probes. Irene brushes off his concerns with a tired smile, joking about old age and nostalgia. But Sunny senses there's more beneath the surface. When Irene wistfully speaks of places I always wanted to see, Sunny challenges her, "What's stopping you?" The simplicity of the question hits her hard. For years, Irene has been a pillar in the community, the constant caregiver, the voice of wisdom for others. But in doing so, she's pushed aside her own dreams. Sunny's words become a catalyst. Why should she spend what good time she has left watching the walls close in? That night, Irene can't sleep. She looks out at the sea, the same view she's admired for decades, and finally lets herself imagine something different. Not a future dictated by Alzheimer's, but one filled with beauty, adventure, and the unknown. A bold decision. Time to say goodbye. The following day, Irene calls her loved ones together for a heart-to-heart. With characteristic directness, she shares her news: she's selling her home and leaving Summer Bay. The stunned silence is followed by a flood of emotion, shock, worry, admiration, and eventually, support. "I don't want to fade away slowly in a place I love, forgotten by the people I care about," she tells them. "I want to live while I still can. I want to see the world, chase the sun, smell the flowers in places I've only dreamed of." There's something poetic about her choice. For years, Summer Bay was Irene's anchor. Now, it's the launchpad for her final chapter. Community reactions. A town bids farewell. The news ripples through the town. At the diner, regulars sit in disbelief. Marilyn struggles to hold back tears. Leah and Justin embrace Irene, heartbroken but understanding. Alf Stewart, often gruff with emotions, offers her a quiet nod and a "good on ya, love." A farewell party is quickly organized, an understated, heartfelt gathering at the beach where Irene is celebrated with laughter, music, and shared stories. Old friends reappear in flashbacks and memories, showing just how many lives Irene has impacted. Characters from past storylines, former foster kids, troubled teens she mentored, old flames, even those she once clashed with, all have a piece of Irene's story. Her departure becomes a celebration of a life that was messy, flawed, but filled with love and purpose. Lynn McGranger's legacy, a trailblazer in Australian soap history. While Irene's journey is fictional, the impact of Lynn McGranger is very real. Having joined Home and Away in 1993, McGranger quickly made the character of Irene her own. What began as a guest role grew into a mainstay, with Irene evolving from an ex-alcoholic with a dark past into a warm, resilient, and fiercely loyal matriarch. Over the years, McGranger tackled some of the show's most challenging storylines: addiction, domestic violence, teen pregnancy, cancer, grief, and now, dementia. Through it all, she brought authenticity and empathy to the screen, becoming not just a fan favorite, but a role model for women of all ages. In an industry often obsessed with youth, McGranger broke the mold, portraying a strong, older female character with depth, humor, and heart. Her portrayal of Irene helped normalize tough conversations about abuse recovery, single motherhood, and now, Alzheimer's, in mainstream entertainment. Her departure marks the end of an era, a farewell filled with grace and strength. Home and Away has delivered many emotional exits over the years, but Irene's farewell stands apart. It is not a story of defeat but of empowerment, a woman taking control of her destiny in the face of inevitable decline. As Irene boards a bus out of Summer Bay, duffel bag in hand, there's a quiet dignity to her exit. She looks back one last time, at the beach, the diner, the friends she's leaving behind, and then she turns forward. The future may be uncertain, but it's hers to claim. What's next for Summer Bay? With Irene's departure, a noticeable gap will be left in the town's heart. Questions remain. Who will take over the diner? Will a new generation of characters rise to fill her shoes? And will we hear from Irene again, perhaps in a postcard, a video message, or a surprise cameo? Home and Away fans will no doubt continue to feel her presence for years to come. Because Irene Roberts wasn't just a character, she was the soul of Summer Bay. In summary, a story about living, even while letting go. In portraying Irene's Alzheimer's journey with such nuance and compassion, Home and Away reminds us of the importance of living fully, not just existing. Irene's decision to travel the world isn't a sad ending. It's a brave, beautiful beginning, even in the twilight of her life. As viewers prepare to say goodbye, we do so with gratitude, for the lessons, the laughter, the tears, and the unforgettable legacy of Irene Roberts.